Okay, last week I bought a camper for $1 and it was a pretty wild ride. Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, no, it doesn't fit. Fuck. So we're gonna open the gate a little bit. I don't think it's gonna work.
You have to go straight through this.
Yee-hoo! Oh no, we have to rebuild the fence. So the camper was $1, but the fence that I took down in order to get the camper in our backyard was $400. So we know that these little projects that turn out to be small investments can turn into money pits so fast. I made this experience over and over again, especially if you remember my house Lieselotte, the 120-year-old house that I bought for an okay price, and then it turned out to be a complete disaster, and I spent 3 years of my life and a lot of money rebuilding it. So I don't want this to happen with this project, but I can already feel this is going to be expensive, especially with the cost of materials right now. Like, I don't even want to know how much this is going to be. So I thought I need a way to finance this, but also to kind of limit the budget that I have available. And then I thought, I think there's a really clever way to do this. A couple months ago, I came up with a little gadget. I call it the Tape Mate. It's essentially a tape measure holder.
This year, my favorite things also includes a tool made by a really good friend of mine. This is the Tape Mate, made by the inimitable Laura Kampf. This is a spectacular tool. Let me introduce you to its wonders. First of all, it has a clip up here with which you can clip it to your belt. I find that sufficient to keep it on my belt. And then here is my favorite part about this. When you need to measure something, you just reach in and you grab it. And I have to say, when I'm doing carpentry, this is so much fun to have hanging from my belt, hanging from my apron. Spectacular. Plus a little magnet here so you can keep tools, you can keep bits and little screws and things like that. But the most fun part about these is that Laura hand makes every single one. And as Laura travels around the world doing her amazing things and executing her phenomenal projects, she always has a kit with enough parts to make a few of these. So on airplanes and buses and cars, and when she's waiting in hotels, she's assembling these. So each one you buy will be lovingly assembled by Laura herself. I can't think of many things that are cooler than that.
And even though it's such a little thing, it turns out that people really like it. The first batch was 100 pieces. I made them out of nylon and they sold out immediately. And then I thought, maybe leather would be cool. And I kind of figured out how to make them from leather. And I made another batch of 100 and they sold out immediately. And in the last year, I kind of made it a habit to stitch up these little tape mates. I have this little box where I have all the accessories that I need to stitch up 10 of these. And wherever I go, I sit in traffic, I'm bored, I wait at the restaurant, I watch a movie and I don't want to scroll on the second screen. I just stitch up some tape mates. And once this has gotten so far, we go to the next step, and that leads me to this week's sponsor, Fantic. Last time I told you about the rotary tool. We use this for engraving on the run. And this week, I want to talk about their T1 soldering iron, which is usually not made for making tape mates, but it's very useful in this process. So the cool thing about this is it heats up in 7 seconds. Beep, beep, beep. It's done. Heated up. And it has 6 different temperature settings. We don't need it to be crazy hot for this one, but I use it to get rid of these little annoying schnoopsies here. And while this is obviously a wireless soldering iron, I sometimes forget to charge things. It also works on a cable. So if the battery runs low, which is rare because this one runs for 60 minutes, a lot of time to solder everything. In case you run out, you can completely use it on a cable and just keep going. And then when you're done with your work, turn it off and put it in this beautiful stand. It has a little sponge, and now check this out. 4 different tips for different soldering operations. And just because it's weird to make a commercial for a soldering iron without actually showing you it solder, I guess let's do that real quick. It is no surprise that they win a design award pretty much every year. It is really, really good. And the last time I made a commercial for them, for the rotary tool, I heard a lot of good feedback from you guys who bought the thing and were very happy with it. So thank you, Fantic, for the support, and thank you guys for supporting my work. And if you want to get either of those, there are discount codes for both. The F2 Master, the rotary tool, gets you 45% off with the code Laura F2M for F2 Master. And for the soldering iron, you get 38% off with the discount code Laura T1M. Again, thanks for supporting my work. Let's make more tape mates now. This would probably be the perfect product to mass produce, because it's always the same thing, super repeatable. You can find a factory in China or wherever, send them the plans, just have them make 1,000 and sell them off. But I don't want to because I like making them, like just as a thing to keep my hands busy, but also I like how it connects me to the city because I need to source all these materials, right? For the leather, I researched and I found this amazing place where you can get kind of every kind of leather that you're looking for. It's a warehouse in a very shitty area and I love to go there. Oh, yeah, that's it. And then once I have leather and the thread and the needles and all that stuff that I need, I take the hide to this super sweet Armenian guy who rents me his clicker by the hour. And then I go there. Sometimes he makes me a coffee and I just click away as many as these straps as I can get out of one hide. Okay, we get the leather and I have the dye. And this is what you need to punch out a shape, a repetitive shape from leather. I'll show you. So that's the finished thing. You have all the holes you need for stitching. So then I can just fold it over, stitch it all together. The clip will be in here, the tape measure will be in here, and there's even the little slot to screw in the tape measure, all in one thing. Okay, so it took us 30 minutes to cut 160 pieces. I think this die probably has cut 450, 500 by now, so it's still holding up. Next step is we take it back to the shop, we gather all the other materials, and then all the hard part is over and the fun begins. What? Is that Paul Jackman? And then I keep the straps and a couple of these buckles, always 10 of each, in my little travel set, together with the thread, some spare needles, and I have this in my car or my backpack always. I take it with me, and whenever I'm bored, I make one. I love the engraving part because it is different every time, but always a little bit shitty. You know, you can see that this is definitely not made with a laser, and I like it. It is handwritten, it's custom. And once we get to this stage, the really cool stuff begins. This little tray has all the accessories that I need. I just spent $1,000 on tape measures for this project, so that hurts. But hopefully this investment will pay off. We take off the belt clip. If you need belt clips, let me know. I can hook you up. And last step, put it in a little bag. And that is how you make a tape mate. So, why am I telling you all of this? Because if you remember the beginning of the video, I want to find a way to finance this camper project. And I thought, why not make a limited edition of janitor tape mates? And the money that I make with these tape mates is the budget that I have for the camper. Okay, even for my taste, this is a little too shitty. I'll keep this for myself. This will be mine. I promise you the other ones look better. I think my hand got tired after I engraved 80 of these this morning. Let's show you how they really look. Again, they're supposed to be a little wonky. I like that. But that one was stretching it. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, I made 80 of the janitor tape mates, but I need to sell at least 15 of those to break even on material costs for making these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need to sell 4 more to pay for the fence. Okay, 19. And this is what I hope will finance my camper project. But it doesn't even, I don't have to sell them all. Maybe I can trade them for cool materials, you know? Maybe this is a way to do it too. Okay, so if you are interested in trading, let me know in the comments. If you're interested in purchasing one of the limited edition janitor tape mates that are handmade and a little bit shitty engraved all by me, you can get them at Eagle Tools, a family-owned business here in LA, and I recommend going there in person because they're lovely people and it's a great store. And if you can't go there in person, then there will be a link in the description, of course. Hi. Fun. Here you go.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
look forward to pushing those on the website. What's
Yeah.
the story on the trailer?
The friend of a friend gave up and it's like, here, you want it? I need it out of storage. So I'm trying to pay for it by tape.
It looked pretty complete, though.
Yeah, completely
Yeah.
shit. Bye-bye. Okay. Woo, let's see. All right, and that's it for this week's video. I'm excited to see what the budget is next week. Thank you so much for supporting my work. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next week with a new video. I said video 6 times.